Here's my review of Daredevil Born Again Season 2, Episode 4. I'm going to be honest, I thought that this was the best episode of the season so far. It was really good, and it really just gets going because we start off with a great action sequence. The whole diner sequence, like opening sequence with Bullseye, just the whole opening, of him just going throughout his daily routine is just great. And how he prank calls the AVTF at this diner just as an excuse to kill them is just great. And the way he uses it, like where he'll shoot someone in the eye with a toothpick through a straw. That's what makes Bullseye such a fun character, as everything around him can be a weapon. It's just so terrifying. It's so much fun. The whole opening scene was great. And it gets really brutal and really creative, whether he's like throwing a bunch of different forks or killing somebody with a lobster claw just by throwing it at him. It's such a blast. And it's very fascinating because in this scene, you could see how Bullseye, he's trying to do better because after he's done killing all these like AVTF members, he's like, don't worry, I'm the good guy. And you can see in his own twisted way, he's trying to go on a redemption arc. And it's fascinating. As for some of the many other plots, we have Matt and Karen continuing to try to build a legal case against Fisk of them, whether it's using like some of these people who the AVTF has just raided into their house, using them as a witness for empathy and for exposure of Fisk. It's all very compelling. I thought it was very well done. And I think that Mr. Charles I'm still really liking him, although I'm just kind of confused, like, what are they really doing with this character? Because I like his personality and how laid back and chill he is, and as well as he's also threatening, but I can't help but just think it's like, what is even his plan? Because he's still not the main villain of this show. It's still Fisk, and even then, he's like a second, and then it would be like Bullseye, who's another antagonist. He just feels kind of out of place. I think Matthew Lillard is good, though. And I think like another great thing that's also awesome in this episode is Matt trying to track down Bullseye and him stealing an AVTF officer's suit and him going into the diner where the murder happened and him, like when the cops are there telling him to get out and that he's in charge now. I thought it was really great because it shows like how much authority and how terrifying it is that Fisk's own task force has authority even over the police. And it's just kind of scary to think about, but it's cool to see Matt use that authority to his advantage. And him using his senses, like especially his sense of touch, to know that Bullseye was here and to track him down was just awesome. Which leads to a great fight in Bullseye apartment, which was awesome because I just love Bullseye so much. I love his action scenes are so much fun to watch that it's just great. Really, the whole fight, I think, is great. Because whether it's Matt dodging his attacks or it's still even getting hit and just beating him up, it's just fun and thrilling. But I think what really makes this episode really rise above the rest is it's great to just finally see Matt back in church, because the Catholicism of the original series really elevated it, as it just added so much depth to Matt's character. And a lot of that was missing in season 1. So it's really great to see Matt in the church here, where even though a part of him is here just to investigate, to find Bullseye originally, because like he finds a coin, it's still great to have him stop in the church, have him pray. It reminds you just of who this character is. And I think he has a really great talk with the priest. Well, he's not a priest. He's still like a priest in training. But I think that it just allows for just a really great scene and just Matt just feel like a more real character. It was a great scene. And of course, I think the flashbacks in this episode were great as well. It's so great to see flashbacks to the original Netflix series. I feel like after this, you can't have people saying, oh, the original Netflix series isn't canon. Look, I know it wasn't really originally, but they clearly canonized it, and now they're using actual clips. I don't see how you can say the original series isn't canon. You could call it cheap just because they want to take credit for it. But hey, I mean, isn't that good? Isn't it good to have this great show canon to the MCU? And they do focus a lot on Fisk and Vanessa's relationship in this episode, and you could see why they do that. And it just makes the whole back half of the episode feel so much more like, oh, okay. So there's a scene where Fisk has a charity boxing match, which in itself is just insane and ridiculous. Like, why would you have the mayor of a city do a boxing match for charity? Also, these weight classes are so unfair. Like, Wilson Fisk is like 6'4", 300, 400 pounds, and he's going up against a guy who's like 5'7", like 200 pounds. It's like, it's so stupid, but I'm not going to act like this wasn't a really fun, very brutal fight to watch. And of course, he does end up essentially killing the guy, but people are all just so, I guess, in a hive mind state where they're just excited to watch the fight. And it's really cool because we know in this episode that this is dangerous because we know that Bullseye is trying to kill Kingpin, which leads to Daredevil having to stop Bullseye from killing Kingpin. And it's the whole scene of Bullseye just throwing everything, and seeing Kingpin pull out a gun is just crazy. It's so weird because I don't think we've ever seen him use a gun, at least Vincent D'Onofrio's version, ever. So it's really weird. But you can see how desperate he is. And when Matt stops Bullseye from killing Fisk, he indirectly causes Bullseye to miss, which leads to Vanessa getting hit with the shards of glass and her passing out. And we don't know if she's going to live. We don't know if she's going to die. But it just ends on such a, oh, wow, moment that it was great. I'm just so curious to see where this goes next. So yeah, overall, this was my favorite episode of the season so far. I thought it was great. The action was on point. I really liked the characters. Karen was great in it as well. Wilson, Matt, Benjamin Poindexter, all of them just felt like they got their time to shine. And just, it felt more like this episode felt like it knew what it wanted to be. And I thought it was great.